demonic symbols on the walls, books about murder and death, terrifying drawings that chill the soul. This is what the police found in the room of a young man who seemed to everyone else completely normal, polite, quiet, unsuspicious. But behind this facade lay a crime that crossed every human boundary. In a moment of madness, he ripped off his girlfriend's head from her body. Then he lured another friend to kill her in the same horrific way. But his plan didn't stop there, it was far bigger. That fateful day, his computer revealed the secret no one saw coming. He'd been planning something unthinkable, a nightmare beyond comprehension. What was going through his mind? Don't want to drag this out? Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, grab your favorite drink, let's dive in. Today's story comes from Turkey. The police received a call at 3 p.m. on Friday, October 4, 2024. The witnesses couldn't clearly describe what they'd seen, but their voices trembled with terror. There was a panic in their tone, like they'd witnessed something beyond human understanding. Police didn't hesitate. They rushed to the reported location near Istanbul's city walls. What they found wasn't ordinary. Crowds ran in every direction, some screaming, others too stunned to speak. Amid the chaos, one thing froze even the cops in their tracks. A full corpse lay on the ground, and beside it, shredded remains of another body. Only scattered pieces were left, the most glaring being a severed head. Ambulances arrived quickly, but there was nothing to save. The bodies were sent to forensics as investigators struggled to process the horror. They identified the victims. The intact corpse belonged to a young man named Samih, aged 19. The head and remains belonged to a young girl of the same age named Iqbal. Police combed the area for clues to understand what happened, and security cameras soon revealed part of the story, or maybe deepened the mystery. Footage showed Samih arrived first. He walked calmly before climbing the wall. After a while, Iqbal appeared. She didn't climb immediately, she hesitated, looking around like she sensed something wrong. Finally, she got out her phone and called Samih, then climbed up to join him. For 2 full hours, they stayed atop the wall. No one knows what happened between them, but what came next was pure horror. Suddenly, as if possessed, Samih grabbed Iqbal and killed her with brutal force, decapitating her in cold blood. Not stopping there, he tied himself to a rope, jumped from the wall, and ended his own life. But the oddity didn't end there, as police still scrambled to unravel the horror. Another report came in, this one even more abnormal. A third body had been found in Samih's own house. The victim was another girl named Aisha, the same age as Samih and Iqbal, 19-year-old. The chilling part, she'd been killed the same way. Torn to pieces, her head severed from her body. Questions exploded with no answers. Who was Samih really? Why commit these atrocities? Why was a party in his house? Was Aisha killed before he met Iqbal? Or was someone else involved? Things got even murkier when Iqbal's mother spoke to police. She said she tried calling her daughter repeatedly after she vanished. The first time, a stranger answered calmly, "Your daughter's safe, don't worry." Then he hung up before she could reply. When she called again, another person was on the phone. A completely different man claimed he'd found the phone near the wall. That's when the mother's blood turned to ice. She and her husband raced to the scene, one question of their mind: why wasn't Iqbal's phone with her? But when they got there, it was replayed by a sight that would haunt them forever. Their daughter's head lay on the ground. When Iqbal's mother saw it, her mind shut down. She fainted instantly. Her body rejecting the truth. This wasn't just murder, it was a nightmare. Like dark forces had toyed with all 3 lives. After investigating the 3 families of the victims, and the forensic medicine department was done with autopsies, the bodies were handed over for their families for burial. Iqbal's funeral was a scene of pure anguish and devastation. Her family couldn't process it. Faces ghastly pale, tears endless, whispers of why, how. Was something unnatural supernatural behind this, swirling through the crowd. Aisha's funeral mirrored the despair. Same shock, same unanswerable questions. But Samih's funeral, it never happened. Cancelled. Why? Well, everyone was fearful. Could an ordinary guy commit these crimes? Does he deserve a burial? Or is his name cursed? Even his family failed to figure out how to deal with the situation. They were in shock, unable to understand their son. Who was Samih really? Trying to understand his motives. Police interrogated his family and uncovered something unsettling. Samih wasn't like other guys his age. Isolated, always alone, rarely spoke to anyone, spent 90% of his time locked in his room, detached from the world. That's when police decided to enter his room. The one place that might hold answers. But what they found wasn't clarity. It was a labyrinth of darker mysteries. The walls were not just walls. They were plastered with demonic sigils, mysterious symbols no one could decode, and nightmarish drawings that looked like portals to another realm. The shelves stocked with books about death, murder, occult rituals, black magic texts no one should have owned. What was Samih doing in there? Was he just obsessed with dark arts? Or something far worse? When police tried accessing Samih's computer, they hit a wall. It was fully encrypted using such a complex method, as if its owner never wanted anyone seeing its contents. Not just a password, but a next level protection no average teen could have set up. That's when investigators realized the horrifying truth. Samih wasn't just a troubled kid. This wasn't a crime of passion or rage. He'd been planning something bigger. But what and when did it start? We've talked about the murders, the shock, but all of that was just a prologue. The opening act for something so twisted. It would dominate headlines and hunted a nation. But before I revealed what police uncovered, you need to know who Samih was before becoming this enigma who terrorized the public. At birth, Samih was a completely normal kid. Grew up in a humble, religious family. Like all kids, he went to school, played, laughed, nothing unusual about his life. But when he turned 16, everything began to change. Subtly at first, he started withdrawing, spending hours in his room, door locked, shutting everyone out from what he was doing. If his parents barged in, he'd slam his laptop shut, like he'd been caught red-handed. His family shrugged it off. He's just a teenager, right? Teenagers always have their secrets. But then came the COVID-19 pandemic. The isolation Samih already lived in deepened into something darker. He stopped leaving his room entirely. No school, no friends, no interaction with family. Just the room, his computer, and endless hours of solitude. Even his conversations with his parents became rare, like an invisible wall had risen between them. Then he started working at a butcher shop. At first, it seemed like a new opportunity. A teen picking up a job, learning a trade. But Samih wasn't just any employee. He was unnervingly skilled with knives. In his room, he kept a black bag filled with sharp tools, blades of every size and shape. He guarded it like treasure, never letting anyone touch it. Once, when his father asked about one of the knives, Samih snapped unexpectedly, shouting, "Don't you dare touch my things." A reaction so explosive, it finally made his father realize something wrong was going on with his son. Over time, Samih's behavior shifted from odd to terrifying. He left his bedroom window open constantly, even in freezing winters. When his father closed it, Samih would rage. "Can't you see what I'm seeing?" His father would glance around the dark, empty room and reply, "Son, it's dark in here. What are you seeing?" Samih's answer always chilled him. "You'll never understand." What did he mean? What was he seeing in that room? This seems to be when Samih began diving into shadowy occult worlds, realms that warped his mind and reshaped how he saw life. He devoured books about demons and death, including an odd one titled Coca-Cola. But it didn't end there. Beneath the title, a line was written that caused chills. "Tell me, if you are the devil, then what am I?" But that was just the beginning. The book detailed a serial killer who'd created a list of 6 victims, each assigned a specific day to die. Saturday for one, Sunday for another. The horror peaked with the killer's goal, collecting body parts from each victim to assemble a single human doll, stitched from 6 different corpses. Imagine. When Samih was reading that book, he'd go to his job at the butcher shop, earn money, but he wasn't spending it on normal things. Instead, he used it to buy drugs. At the same time, his drawings started changing. He sketched strange, dark, violent things. The walls of his room became a canvas, covered in symbols nobody could understand. But the problem wasn't just what he read or drew. The bigger issue was who he influenced. We've all heard, choose your friends carefully, they can change your life. That's exactly what happened. Before Iqbal met Samih at school, she was a bright, happy girl full of life. She had no idea that her life was about to change. After getting close to him, that cheerful version of her faded bit by bit. She became gloomy, isolated, feeling worthless. She'd lock herself in her room for hours, pull away from her family, like life had lost all meanings. And it wasn't just psychological. Even the place they always met wasn't ordinary. That wall they'd sit on, the one that witnessed their horrific crime, wasn't just a wall. It carried a dark history. It had seen famines, wars, death. Like its stones held remnants of pain and blood spilled across centuries. Like it had been waiting for Samih to add a new chapter of terror. Was this wall just a location, or did it have another influence? On March 22, everything took a dangerous turn. Samih's father received a call from Iqbal's mother. A call so shocking, her words alone could terrify any parent. She told him, "Our kids decided to end their lives together." Imagine waking up to that news. That same day, Samih actually tried to kill himself with a knife, but his family rushed him to the hospital just in time. Doctors miraculously saved him. After stabilizing, they sent him to a psychiatric facility for treatment. He stayed there for weeks, until doctors declared him stable, or so they thought. But his mother, she wasn't convinced. Something still didn't feel right. After all this, Iqbal's family decided to keep their daughter away from Samih for good. They filed a restraining order, blocked all contact, even transferred her to a new school. They started therapy, trying to pull her back from the dark world Samih had dragged her into. To fill the void, they bought her a kitten, a kind of therapy. Slowly, she began healing, laughing again, joking, reclaiming her old self. But Samih hadn't forgotten, and he wouldn't let her forget. He watched her rebuild her life from away, and it drove him mad. October 4, 2024. That cursed day, Samih was home alone. He took the chance and called Aisha, the other girl he'd been involved with, and lured her over. "My family's out, come hang out." The idea was tempting, and the house was completely empty, so she agreed and went to him. Meanwhile, Samih's mom video called to check on him. When she asked what he was doing, he smiled and said, "Aisha's here, but she's too shy to come on camera." His mom hung up, resuming her day, unaware her son had already killed Aisha the moment she called. He'd severed her head from her body, cold-hearted. But this wasn't the end. Iqbal, she remained his first and final target. After finishing his first crime, Samih grabbed his phone and called Iqbal. This wasn't a normal call. It was a direct, unmistakable threat. "Either come to me at the wall now, or I'll kill you and your cat." Iqbal didn't know what to do. Tell someone, run, or go in this nightmare herself. In the end, she went. When she arrived at that cursed wall, Samih was waiting, hands still smeared with blood. He killed Iqbal the same way he'd killed Aisha. Then he walked to the edge of the wall, threw her severed head and body parts over, and paused, as if savoring what he'd done. Finally, he looped a rope around his neck and jumped, ending his own life. Back to the police. They knew the only explanation lay in Samih's computer. But when they finally cracked the encryption, they found all files deleted except one video. A video Samih had sent Iqbal exactly 1 year earlier.
Seninle özel olarak vedalaşmak istedim. Sonra benim yüzümden geçen çok mutluluklarım için özür diliyorum. Bunun için senden çok özür dilerim. Ama güzel benim için her şey. Korkmana ya da endişe etmeye gerek kalmayacak. Tamamen kapanıyor bu konu. Umarım normal bir yaşam yaşayıp güzel olur. Ama bana söylemem gereken bir şey var. Dün beni gördüğün gibi Oraya seni beklememiştim. Hayattan çıkarken can almak istiyorum. Ve bu sen insanın sen olması daha değerli. Kalbin işte, gözlerin biliyorsun zaten onu. Bekledim. Apartmanın altında bekledim bir saat. Belki bekledim. Normal bir gün yaşasaydım öyle bir şey olacaktı. Bakın Tanrı o kadar fazla yardım etti ki. İyi ki olmadı böyle bir şey.
What does this mean? This video revealed part of his motives, but it wasn't the full explanation. Cause there is something even stranger. Remember that bizarre drawing? After further investigation, police discovered its lines matched an ancient satanic symbols. But that wasn't all. They found the same symbol carved in Samih's room, under his house, and on walls across the city, on trash bins, electrical boxes, and even near mosques. That's when real fear set in. Could this be a satanic cult? Police no longer saw this as just a crime by a troubled young man. They began asking, was Samih part of a larger group? Is there a hidden cult there, like the Manson family, pulling kids into this dark world? Wild theories emerged. The wildest was that Samih tried recruiting Iqbal into this group, and when she refused, he killed her in a symbolic location, as if sending a message to the world, or proving his loyalty to the cult. But in the end, these remain theories. All we can say now is, may God have mercy on Iqbal and Aisha, and grant their families patience. This case stands out as one of the strangest and cruelest, cause Iqbal was enjoying a suicide pact. She never meant to be a part of this nightmare. She was deceived. She thought she was meeting someone she once loved. She didn't know she was walking to her death. Did Samih truly intend to act on the book's deadly ideas? Did he believe killing 6 women and stitching the remains would achieve something? But more importantly, what turned a polite, shy boy into someone capable of this? What dragged him into such darkness? And with that, today's story ends. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe. The next stories are bloody, darker, and more mysterious. Catch you in the next one.